Do you remember Pop Idol, the groundbreaking British talent show that captivated millions in the early 2000s? Ever wondered what fate befell the contestants who once graced our screens with their heartfelt performances? Join us as we reveal the triumphs and tragedies that each beloved star had to bear after the spotlights dimmed. Darius Campbell Danesh, a star extinguished too soon. In the summer of 2022, fans around the world were devastated by the shocking news that would forever change Pop Idol's legacy. Darius Campbell Danesh, the charismatic Scottish performer who captured hearts with his rendition of Hit Me Baby One More Time before reinventing himself as a serious artist, was found unresponsive in his Minnesota apartment. He was just 41 years old. Darius's journey on Pop Idol began controversially. Initially mocked for his ambitious audition in the show's first season, he returned in Series 2 with renewed humility and extraordinary talent, finishing third. His subsequent #1 hit, Colorblind, proved his critics wrong and launched a career that would span music, West End performances, and even opera. Behind his warm smile and towering presence, Darius faced challenges few knew about. A serious car accident in 2010 left him with a broken neck, while a near-fatal bout with meningitis in 2015 came after drinking water from the Thames for a charity stunt. Through it all, he maintained the generous spirit that endeared him to everyone he met. The medical examiner would later confirm that Darius died from toxic effects of chloroethane, with his death ruled as accidental. The inhalation substance, sometimes used for pain relief, cut short a life and career still filled with promise. Those close to him spoke of ongoing projects and dreams left unfulfilled. In his final years, Darius had moved to the U.S., maintaining a close friendship with his ex-wife, Canadian actress Natasha Henstridge, despite their divorce. His philanthropic work continued, quietly, away from the cameras that once followed his every move. And as one bright star faded from our skies, others from the Pop Idol constellation continued their own challenging journeys. Will Young, the battle behind the breakthrough. When Will Young stood victorious as Pop Idol's first winner in 2002, the nation celebrated a soft-spoken voice teacher who defeated the odds and Simon Cowell's predictions. What few realized was that behind his confident performances lay a young man fighting demons that would haunt him long after the confetti settled. Will's post-Idol career seemed charmed at first. His debut single, Evergreen, became the fastest-selling UK debut in history. Album after successful album followed, alongside acting roles that showcased his range. But as Will later revealed, he was silently suffering through crippling anxiety, PTSD, and depersonalization disorder, often feeling detached from his own achievements and identity. "I was a walking shell," Will would later confess in his candid memoir. The pressure of maintaining his career while hiding his sexuality from the public, despite coming out shortly after his win, created an unbearable burden. In 2016, the breaking point came when Will abruptly withdrew from Strictly Come Dancing, leading to public criticism before the truth of his mental health struggles emerged. Perhaps most heartbreaking was the loss of his twin brother Rupert to suicide in 2020 after a long battle with depression and alcoholism. Will had spent years trying to support him through numerous crises and rehab attempts, only to face this ultimate tragedy. Today, Will has reinvented himself as a mental health advocate, speaking openly about trauma and therapy. He hosts the well-being podcast Homo Sapiens and continues making music on his own terms, having found a measure of peace through his openness. In 2023, he celebrated the 20th anniversary of his groundbreaking victory with a reflective tour, finally able to embrace his journey with all its complexities. While Will fought private battles behind platinum records, another finalist was navigating an entirely different path of adversity. Gareth Gates, finding his voice beyond the stammer. The image remains indelible in Pop Idol history. Gareth Gates, the shy 17-year-old with a debilitating stammer, barely able to introduce himself before unleashing a voice that left judges speechless. Though he finished as runner-up to Will Young, Gareth's vulnerability and triumph over his speech impediment made him the season's emotional centerpiece. The years following Pop Idol brought Gareth spectacular success, 4 UK #1s and over 3.5 million records sold. But the pressure of fame exacerbated his speech challenges, creating painful contrasts between the confident singer on stage and the young man who struggled through interviews. Behind closed doors, Gareth endured cruel mockery and the psychological toll of being defined by a condition he'd fought his entire life. In 2008, a devastating blow came with the tabloid revelation of his brief relationship with model Katie Price when he was just 17, an exposure that led to public ridicule and shame at a time when he was still coming to terms with adulthood. His stammer worsened under the stress, threatening his career as public appearances became increasingly difficult. Personal heartbreak followed with his divorce from dancer Suzanne Mole in 2012 after 3 years of marriage, leaving him to navigate co-parenting their daughter while rebuilding his life. A subsequent engagement to Coronation Street actress Faye Brooks ended in 2019, bringing another round of public scrutiny. Yet through these struggles, Gareth found renewed purpose. After training with the McGuire program for speech techniques, he became an instructor himself, helping others with stammers find their voices. He established his own performing arts academies and reinvented himself in musical theater with acclaimed roles in Joseph and Les Miserables. Today, Gareth balances music, business ventures, including his coconut tea company, and his most treasured role as father to daughter Missy. The boy who once struggled to say his own name now speaks confidently about resilience and reinvention. As Gareth rebuilt his life beyond the shadow of his stammer, another pop idol contestant faced her own painful journey in the public eye. Michelle McManus, standing tall against body shaming. When Michelle McManus claimed victory in Pop Idol's second season, her powerful voice should have been the only headline. Instead, the Scottish singer found herself at the center of a cruel narrative, focused entirely on her weight, with even Judge Pete Waterman publicly stating the show had made a mockery of the music industry by crowning her winner. Michelle's debut single, All This Time, soared to #1, but the celebration was short-lived. Her record label dropped her after just one album, while tabloids continued their relentless focus on her appearance rather than her talent. In interviews years later, Michelle would reveal the devastating impact of opening newspapers to see herself described as the fat girl who won Pop Idol. The cruel commentary triggered depression and anxiety that would follow her for years. "I was told I'd won despite how I looked, not because I had any talent," she shared during a heartfelt television interview. The psychological damage was compounded by industry rejection, with opportunities drying up as quickly as they had appeared. Health challenges followed, with Michelle developing issues related to the stress and unhealthy cycles created by constant public scrutiny. Yet through her darkest moments, she found the strength to rebuild her life on her own terms. In 2019, Michelle found personal happiness, marrying Jeff Nimmo in a joyful Scottish ceremony. 2 years later, she welcomed her first child, a son named Harry, calling him the greatest gift. After her difficult journey, professionally, she reinvented herself as a BBC radio presenter in Scotland and occasional television personality, embracing opportunities to use her voice in different ways. Today, Michelle speaks openly about body positivity and the harmful effects of weight stigma. Her social media celebrates her family life and career achievements, having found peace beyond the narrow definitions that once threatened to define her. While Michelle battled public perception, another contestant was fighting for something far more precious, his health and future. Mark Rhodes. From solo dreams to unexpected partnership, few Pop Idol journeys have taken more surprising turns than that of Mark Rhodes. Entering the second season as a hopeful solo artist with dreams of stardom, Mark's elimination seemed to mark the end of his television journey. What he couldn't have known was that it was merely the beginning of an unexpected career that would bring both fulfillment and profound personal challenges. After his Pop Idol exit, Mark was paired with fellow contestant Sam Nixon for a charity single. Their natural chemistry caught the attention of BBC producers, leading to an opportunity that would transform both their lives, becoming children's television presenters on CBBC. What began as a temporary position evolved into a beloved broadcasting partnership spanning over 15 years. Behind the cheerful persona that delighted young viewers, Mark faced a devastating health crisis in 2015 when doctors discovered a precancerous condition requiring immediate intervention. The diagnosis forced him to temporarily step back from filming, undergoing treatment while maintaining a brave face for his young audience. Few watching their favorite presenter would have known the painful recovery he endured between takes. Personal heartbreak compounded his challenges when his father passed away in 2017 after a prolonged illness. Mark had been splitting his time between caring for his dad and maintaining his career commitments, a balancing act that took a heavy emotional toll. Through these difficult years, Mark found strength in his family, wife Harriet, and their 2 children, and in his enduring friendship with Sam. Their partnership expanded beyond television to radio, pantomime, and even competing together on shows like Dancing on Ice. Today, Mark has embraced life as a presenter, production consultant, and devoted family man. Though his pop idol dreams took an unexpected detour, the journey led him to a fulfilling career and personal resilience he never anticipated needing. As Mark found healing through unexpected paths, another contestant would face the industry's harshest realities. Zoe Burkett, from teen sensation to theater survivor. At just 16, Zoe Burkett became Pop Idol's youngest finalist, finishing 4th in the debut season with performances that belied her tender age. The Durham-born singer seemed destined for pop stardom, but her post-show journey would reveal both the industry's cruelties and her extraordinary resilience. Despite her talent, Zoe watched as record deals went to her fellow contestants while she was sidelined. The painful rejection came with little explanation, leaving the teenager questioning her worth in an industry that had just celebrated her. A brief stint with a girl group called Fix ended before it truly began, adding another layer of disappointment to her early career. The emotional impact was devastating for someone so young. Zoe later revealed periods of depression and financial hardship as she struggled to find her footing. "There were days I couldn't get out of bed," she confessed in a rare interview. "I'd gone from thousands cheering my name to wondering how to pay rent." A turning point came when Zoe decided to audition for musical theater, despite having no formal training. Her raw talent secured her a role in Thriller Live, beginning a theater career that would become her salvation through sheer determination. She built an impressive West End resume, including The Bodyguard and Priscilla, Queen of the Desert. Personal tragedy struck in 2019 when Zoe lost her beloved grandmother, who had been her biggest supporter since childhood. The loss came during a particularly demanding performance schedule, forcing her to grieve while maintaining professional commitments. Today, Zoe has established herself as a respected theater performer and vocal coach. She briefly returned to television with an appearance on Big Brother in 2014 and has spoken about developing projects that combine her love of music and performance. After welcoming daughter Aria with partner Sam, she balances motherhood with her career, having found stability after years of uncertainty. While Zoe rebuilt her dreams on stage, another contestant would face life's most frightening diagnosis. Haley Evans, the dream deferred by destiny. Haley Evans' Pop Idol journey ended just short of the live finals in Season 1, but her determination captured viewers' hearts. With her striking voice and unwavering persistence, having previously auditioned for Popstars, Haley seemed destined to eventually find her spotlight. What followed instead was a series of near misses and devastating setbacks that tested her resilience beyond measure. After Pop Idol, Haley secured a role presenting on Popstars, The Rivals, Watching as Girls Aloud formed before her eyes, another bittersweet reminder of the success that had eluded her. Small television appearances and stage roles followed, keeping her connected to the industry she loved, while never quite breaking through to the recognition her talent deserved. In 2012, opportunity knocked again when Haley was selected for the X Factor, only to withdraw after injuring her back during rehearsals. The physical recovery was lengthy and painful, forcing her to reconsider her future in performance. Yet, she persevered, eventually, landing a role in the touring production of Grease. Then came the news that would change everything. In 2016, as Haley prepared to join the cast of The Rocky Horror Show in a career-making role, she was diagnosed with breast cancer. The devastating diagnosis forced her to withdraw from the show and focus entirely on her health battle. Treatment was grueling, with multiple surgeries and ongoing therapy that pulled her away from the career she had fought so hard to build. Through her recovery, Haley maintained remarkable privacy, sharing little of her journey publicly. Friends spoke of her extraordinary courage and determination to overcome this challenge, as she had so many others. Today, Haley has gradually returned to performing in smaller venues and events, embracing life with new perspective. While her Pop Idol dreams may have taken detours she never imagined, her story remains one of extraordinary perseverance in the face of life's cruelest challenges. As Haley fought her private battles, another contestant would face public scrutiny of a different kind. Aaron Bailey, the spotlight's fleeting embrace. Aaron Bailey's soulful performances carried him to the final 10 of Pop Idol's first season, where his smooth vocals and understated charm earned him a dedicated following. Yet his post-show journey would illustrate perhaps the most common yet rarely discussed outcome of reality fame: the challenge of returning to ordinary life after tasting extraordinary recognition. Unlike some contestants who secured record deals, Aaron found the industry doors quickly closing after his elimination. His single release with fellow contestants failed to chart significantly, and the management opportunities that seemed promising during the show's height evaporated within months. The emotional whiplash was profound, from performing for millions to suddenly facing rejection without explanation. The financial realities proved equally harsh. Having left his job to pursue Pop Idol, Aaron found himself starting over professionally while processing the psychological impact of his sudden return to anonymity. The phone that wouldn't stop ringing suddenly went silent. He later reflected during a rare interview, "Nobody prepares you for the after." Personal challenges followed as relationships strained under the pressure of his career uncertainty. A painful breakup coincided with his professional struggles, creating a period of deep depression that Aaron rarely discusses publicly. Friends reported his withdrawal from social circles as he processed these simultaneous losses. Through these difficulties, Aaron gradually rebuilt his life away from the entertainment industry. He returned to his home region in the Northeast, eventually establishing a successful career in sales management while occasionally performing at local venues purely for the love of music. Today, Aaron has found peace with his Pop Idol chapter, occasionally participating in reunion events while maintaining his privacy. He married in 2018 and started a family, finding fulfillment in areas of life untouched by the entertainment industry's fickleness. His story serves as a poignant reminder of reality television's temporary nature and the courage required to redefine success on one's own terms. As Aaron found his way back to everyday life, another contestant would struggle with fame's darker consequences. Jessica Garlick. From Eurovision hope to quiet retreat, Jessica Garlick's Pop Idol journey ended in the final 10 of Season 1, but her distinctive voice and striking presence left a lasting impression. What followed was a brief but significant career milestone that few other contestants achieved, before personal priorities and well-being ultimately led her away from the spotlight she once craved. After Pop Idol, Jessica received the honor of representing the United Kingdom at Eurovision 2002 with her powerful ballad "Come Back," finishing an impressive joint third, the UK's best result in decades. Jessica seemed poised for international success. A record deal followed, with industry insiders predicting a bright future for the Welsh performer with a soaring vocal range. Behind the promising exterior, however, Jessica struggled with the intense anxiety that came with public scrutiny. Panic attacks before performances became increasingly debilitating, sometimes leaving her physically ill backstage. The pressure to maintain a certain image, while constantly being compared to other contestants, took a severe psychological toll that few viewers ever witnessed. The breaking point came during a promotional tour when Jessica suffered a complete anxiety attack before a major television appearance. The incident, though kept from the public, forced her to confront the devastating impact her career was having on her health. Despite her undeniable talent, Jessica made the difficult decision to step back from the industry that was damaging her well-being. In the years that followed, Jessica married her long-term partner and welcomed 2 children, embracing family life away from entertainment's demands. She occasionally performed at local events in Wales, but declined numerous offers to return to national platforms, prioritizing the peace she had fought to achieve. Today, Jessica lives quietly in Pembrokeshire, occasionally sharing her experiences with young performers about the importance of mental health. Her brief but significant career serves as a reminder that success can come at too high a personal cost, and that choosing well-being sometimes means walking away from dreams once held dear. While Jessica found healing in stepping away from fame, another contestant would struggle with identity after the spotlight faded. Corbin Niblett, lost in transformation. Few Pop Idol journeys illustrate the complex aftermath of reality fame more poignantly than Corbin Niblett's. Reaching the finals of Season 2 with his distinctive, rock-influenced style, Corbin, who performed on the show as Corbin, briefly captured the nation's attention before facing perhaps the most challenging transition of all, reconciling his performer persona with his true self. The months following Pop Idol brought Corbin limited opportunities that quickly evaporated. Without the major record deals secured by some contestants, he found himself performing at increasingly smaller venues while watching others from his season achieve the success he had envisioned for himself. The financial strain became severe as appearance fees dwindled, eventually forcing him to take temporary jobs between gigs. The psychological impact was profound. Having built his identity around being Corbin the performer, the increasing gaps between opportunities triggered an identity crisis that led to periods of depression. "I didn't know who I was supposed to be when I wasn't on stage," he later confessed during a rare interview. "The show creates a version of you that doesn't exist in regular life." A turning point came after a particularly difficult year when Corbin made the decision to step away from performing entirely. Returning to education, he retrained in graphic design, gradually building a new career away from the entertainment industry's uncertainties. The transition required immense courage, walking away from the dream that had defined his young adult years. Personal relationships suffered during this period of reinvention, with Corbin later revealing that many friendships formed during the show proved superficial once his fame waned. The isolation compounded his struggle to redefine himself beyond the show that had once promised everything. Today, Corbin works in creative direction for a marketing agency, having found fulfillment in a different creative field. He rarely discusses his Pop Idol experience publicly, having made peace with closing that chapter of his life. His journey serves as a powerful reminder that for some contestants, true happiness comes from building an identity beyond the character created for television. As Corbin found himself through walking away, our final contestant would discover that fame's greatest gift came in unexpected form. Rosie Ribbons, when music became medicine. Rosie Ribbons' journey to the Pop Idol finals captivated viewers with her distinctive voice and the emotional depth she brought to every performance. Though finishing outside the top 5 in Season 1, her raw talent secured her a coveted record deal, the beginning of what should have been a straightforward success story. What followed instead was a journey through both professional disappointment and personal trauma that would reveal music's most profound purpose in her life. After initial success with singles Blink and A Little Bit, Rosie faced the industry's harsh realities when her record label abruptly dropped her, despite promising early performance. The shock was compounded by having relocated from her native Australia to pursue her UK career, leaving her suddenly adrift, both professionally and personally, thousands of miles from home. The years that followed brought a series of near misses, promising opportunities that collapsed at the final moment, including a second record deal that ended before her album could be released. The financial and emotional toll became severe as Rosie continued believing that her breakthrough was just one song away. In 2010, tragedy struck when Rosie was diagnosed with cervical cancer. The devastating news came just as she was preparing new material, forcing her to abandon professional plans and focus entirely on her health battle. Through grueling treatment and recovery, Rosie discovered that the voice that had once been her ticket to fame became her most powerful healing tool. Singing through her treatment, even on her darkest days, provided therapy no medicine could match. After recovering, Rosie gained new perspective on her career's purpose. Rather than pursuing mainstream success, she began working with music therapy programs, using her talent to help others facing health crises. Her own experience had revealed music's healing power in profound ways she could now share.